nature, and they all offer different opportunities. We spent a lot of time, we researched the planning department under Mark and his team and Lisa. We reviewed every park in our system. We went to every facility. We know everything we don't have. If we had money, we would fix every one of them. When we go to community meetings, people always want us to fix stuff. I'm going to give you a hint. We want it more than they do. The problem is it's limited dollars we deal with. But at the same time, and I think it's Yogi Berra, and I may miss his quota, but if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up someplace you didn't plan on. Now that's close. That's what this plan is. It's got us where we're trying to go. You're approving no dollars. I'll be honest, I wish you were, because we would be building the system. But it's a plan to move forward. It will be adjusted over a 25-year period. So as a rule of thumb, it probably has 5 capital bond projects in it, as a rule of thumb. That's not accurate, but I'll hush it that way.
Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. Director, first I want to thank you for the robust outreach effort. It looks like you did an online survey, you used social media, you used CitizensNet. There was a survey that was done by Rice University students at different parks that used the CIP meetings, the 28 CIP meetings. So a very robust effort. I guess some if I understand where my colleagues are coming from, that if we approve this plan, then I guess in essence we're also saying that the needs that you've identified, that we agree with those needs as well. And I guess we're maybe my colleagues would like to see is that there's still some flexibility input from council members, that they could say, this is a need that we've heard about. One thing that I've asked before is that what happens to the input that our residents, our constituents give in the annual CIP process? Are those archived somewhere so that we can know that the community's been asking for a specific park for many years now? It's my understanding that those aren't really saved or archived anywhere, so it becomes a yearly kind of request process. So where's that input? And then also that there's still some flexibility, so year to year, maybe a council member could say, I see where you've identified gaps, but this one is specific. It is resonating more with my constituents. Can we do something about this area? Because like East Sunset Heights, for example, they've been asking for a park for a long time, but there's been limited, land available in the area. But according to the heat maps, and I want to thank you for providing the heat maps as well, I think that's a great tool. It shows that my greatest need is above 610, kind of the northern part of my district, Northland, which I agree as well. But there's got to be some opportunity for other input as well. And I guess we just want to make sure council members are engaged in their districts as a supplement to the data that you provide.
I would say we know the requests that every community wants. We hear them every year. It's always limited by dollars in the CIP plan, unless we're out there making opportunity deals with partners to create this plan. A big piece of this plan is based on land acquisition. If we ever want to get within that, it's the land that's got to be acquired long-term. And the easy answer to your question, council always approves an RCA. If it's not what council wants, it won't move forward. And so we do listen, just like the citizens at Sunset. We're looking at that piece that was I just saw it yesterday, and we're going to see what we can do. But what it boils down to so much is not always land availability, it's dollars to buy that land. And that's what this is focused on, is if we do make a land purchase, we can back up with statistics. We should be buying a piece of land in those cross-street areas to meet that need in that community.
Appreciate your details. Thank you.
Ms. Turner, but the other side of that is that as land becomes available, it gives us an opportunity to put ticklers out there and say, here's a piece of land. We know we're looking in that area, let's see if it's possible.
We're always doing that. The basics of this plan has two criteria, and one of them says, with the open space funding where we have funds, we need to be buying land where we need it. And through the areas we need it. In those areas where we're not having development dollars, we should be pushing bond dollars into those areas to make land acquisition now. And the reason is, in the areas where open space funding is coming, we are behind the real estate curve. The land has already gone up. In the areas where we're not acquiring open space funding, those areas are ripe for us to go in there and buy land at lower cost today. But that's where we need to be projecting bond dollars to go get those pieces done. And it's a long-term plan, not a short-term plan.
But the master plan, it tells you where to look.
Yes, it does.
Councilwoman Stark.
Thank you, Director. You've teed me up. We have land that we've acquired. We acquired the 200 acres for Inwood. We have Alabonson 50 acres that have been sitting there since Tony Lawrence was in office and undeveloped. So land acquisition is not the only challenge. Developing what we have is the next challenge. We've had citizens that are actually sort of taking over the old golf course with activities that we're sanctioning through the special events department, and it's still a public works property. So I've been asking and looking forward to moving forward and making that green space that we acquired in 2010 there, the golf course, into a recreation, a formal recreation, and within the not only the public works arena, but also the parks arena, so that we have some kind of formal process or formal park space and trails within that detention area that we've provided. Alabonson, as you know, I've been in conversations with the county commissioner, and it looks like and I appreciate your support on that, that we're going to be able to propose maybe partnering with the county again. And Mayor, we had that opportunity recently that you supported as well with Freed Park with Commissioner Raddick. We're partnering with our county commissioners, but I'm really appreciative, don't get me wrong, of Freed and Alabonson, because these things have just recently, in the last year and a half, these conversations have occurred and are moving forward. But I still have that 200 acres in Wood that's available, and I'd really like to have it sanctioned as true park space for our community, not just available for detention as the city needs it. And I don't know, Mayor, if you can comment on that, but it is in a high need identified area. We have the property. I'd really like to see how we can move forward on it. Thank you.
Mayor, may I answer first?
Please.
I'll be happy for you to answer. My answer to that one is real simple. We did a bond project that had $60 million of CIP dollars in it. If you did a park today from ground zero, minimal improvements on a park is going to be somewhere between 2 to 3 million. So let's use 3. That's an easy one for me to divide. 3 into 60 million, it means we would touch 20 pieces of property to build parks if we weren't replacing. It's driven by dollars, point blank. And dollars come either from partnerships, as we're trying to do with the county commissioner, who you reached out to. We're happy because that will really be the first interlocal I have with that precinct, and I'm very appreciative of that. We have Commissioner Raddick that we have multiple agreements with. We also have Commissioner, we're trying to work one currently with Commissioner Mormon. And then with Commissioner L. Franco Lee, not only do we have park agreements, I operate 2 community centers together with him, or he probably says he operates them with me. Either way works. Those are the way we expand. When you only, I'm just being honest, when you only pass $60 million of capital bond money for parks, and we have 370, it only goes so far. But to your question of development, that's the second piece. The other piece, if we don't buy land, we'll never develop anything. And then the third one, I'll let the mayor, Inwood was purchased for detention purposes in the city, not for the parks department.
It was using money for detention, and while it can be developed as a park, it was purchased for detention with public works dollars. Yes, sir.